know who this is. Coach.
Yeah, you got our. Well, terrific win by our team. The respect level that we have, in particular that I have, our players for Yale. Coach Jones's program is immense. It's why we scheduled the opportunity to get them on the schedule for the foreseeable future. They're an NCAA tournament team. Unfortunately, they didn't have a huge piece today to their puzzle, but they'll contend in the Ivy, and they'll be one of those teams in March Madness that makes a special run. They have a terrific group. They really understand how to play together. But I'm proud of our guys. We're constantly trying to plead and prod and get the effort level to where it needs to get to. And when you're putting a team together and you're going through the ups and the downs of a season, the thing that you start to figure out is you have a lot of guys out there hoping to play the game, stay in the game, and they're not playing to win. They're not executing what you're asking them to do. And what we figured out there at halftime was very quickly who's going to be the group that's going to play the hardest defensively. And at that point in time, we were going to figure out what we were kind of made of. And we went small to start the second half. That group got out of the first 4 minutes. Josephat entered the game after that, and we continued to sort of stay with it. And I thought the second half effort, the ability to just compete and play hard was much better. And we shot good percentages, except for the free throw line again. We offensive rebounded with great effort. It was all about just like, if you could just bottle up the second half in terms of the intensity level, the care, the pride, that's where we're trying to obviously get it to go. And I think the lineup change is needed. And I think us just adjusting the rotation here moving forward is going to be a big deal. And hopefully today, one of our best wins, clearly of this season, probably the best win, but obviously, one of the best wins that we've had at home here in a while. And like I said, I'm just proud of our guys. We beat a good team today, and we were down 19 points in the first half. And we end up, really coming together in that second half. So hopefully this is something that can spear us on, show us what's possible for this group.
I mean, you mentioned last week that it was tough to sort of deal with adversity coming out of Mohegan Sun, and you had a little bit of that hangover effect versus Johnson and Wales. I mean, what changed in that second half where that's something you haven't really been able to see so far this season?
It comes down at the end of the day, who's playing the hardest, who's playing the right way. And if those five are giving max effort and they're trying their ass off to do what you're asking them to do, usually some good things will happen. And for us, we got off to a pretty good start in the second half. But it's not about guys anymore, hoping and pleading and prodding them to kind of do what you're asking or, begging. It's not about that anymore. For us, we have some talent on our team. We have some good players on our team. We've got to gel and grow into a tough-minded group of competitors. And we're missing the element of toughness, competitiveness. And I think part of it is just you have a lot of guys that are hoping that they can go well for them tonight, And if it is going well for them tonight, they'll be good. When it isn't, and I don't think we're any different than any other team. It's not a bad thing, negative thing. I think our group hasn't been together very long. I'm hopeful that this is the evidence that's needed that when you have the right mindset, how good we could be. And Josephat Bilal, it's an incredible story on him. And couldn't be happier for a guy like that, the amount of time that he's put into getting back. And this is his attitude, how he works. We're missing that element of just playing hard. And no question about it, we don't win this game without Josephat.
Your rebounding, your offensive rebounding in particular, has been a sore point, over the last year and a half or so. Tonight, what you guys did on second chances, how did you manage to achieve it?
Well, I think, we've been timely on offensive rebounds. I think you look at the size that we have and the motors that we have, I think we should be a good rebounding team. Right now, we started the game off, again, in this game, very poor defensive backboard again. Free throw rebounds, long rebounds, just hustle plays. And then as we get going and the game starts to get charged up, seems like we're a little better. But from the offensive rebounding perspective, Zeke was fantastic tonight. He was all over the place. David had 2, Tyson had 1. We just had a slew of guys. Brandon Weston gave us really good minutes again tonight. So we have the bodies. It's just a commitment level. You know, we're up 40-26 on the boards, 15 offensive rebounds. I would say in the second half, our staff was really on our team in the huddles and the timeouts about, fellas, we're really rebounding right now. Stay with it. We're really defensive rebounding, really offensive rebounding. But I think the big thing with our team, it starts and stops the effort level and the toughness defensively. But, you know, we only had 10 turnovers in the game. We had 8 of them at half. And we had, I know probably there one at the end that was a tough one on the pick 6 that they went down. But only turning the ball over 2 times in the second half and rebounding the way we did, helped us, got us back in the game.
Only down 12 at the half. Like you said, it was more than that in the first half.
We got down by as many, I think it's 18, 19, but the ability in the last 4 minutes of the half to sort of get it, I think 44-32, whatever it was, and you look at the numbers at halftime, you start looking at offense, and you're shooting a pretty good percentage, and everything's kind of even. You may have 8 turnovers, whatever, but you look at their numbers on offense in the first half, it was, you didn't need defense out there to shoot 60% from the floor and 46 from 3 and only turn the ball over, whatever they did. I mean, they were putting on a clinic. I thought defensively in the second half, we were able to start to get some stops and we get out in transition. Our best offense is defense to offense. If we could ever put that thought in our head, if we're just good on defense, we're probably going to be pretty good on offense because we have some guys that can really get out. But we shot 51%, 40 from 3. Free throw line continues to be a sticking point, but we were offensive rebound and we only turned it over 2 times in the second half. So we played a much better, cleaner, obviously, second half.
Coach, talk about the leadership from Tyson and Lou. I mean, obviously, you hold each other accountable. You saw it in the second half. Just talk about how that really pushed the momentum to take that lead in the second.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been in some situations here where we've went away this season when things haven't gone well. I mean, you're down 22-2 against Northwestern. You find a battle your way back, but it really didn't feel that way. Washington State really didn't feel that way. I thought tonight, even though first half was really kind of jumbled up and we didn't play well defensively, that at halftime we felt like we had some guys in there with the right talk. We had some guys in there with the right voices. And, sometimes when you're pitted against the wall, so to speak, like you're going to figure out who's going to come out of it and who doesn't want it. And the guys that played in that second half, for long stretches, Tyson I thought was good. I thought Joe was good. I thought, from an offensive standpoint, I thought we had some guys do some more things. We had a lot of guys contribute, and I'm proud of them in general. I think that Brandon and Josephat really, really bring an element of maturity right now to our team and some guys that can play hard. And that was a big reason why I thought early in the second half, Brandon starting, bringing Joe in a little earlier, give us our best group of hardest playing guys. Sometimes that's what just, it's all you can lean on.
Coach, you mentioned how important it was scheduling a non-conference game against an opponent like Yale, considering how strong they are, especially when they go to compete in March. With the Providence game coming up on Saturday, having been a participant of that, having coached it in your first season last year, how big of a result is this, getting a win over a team like Yale going into a game against Providence?
I think beating Yale in itself may end up being one of the best wins that we've had in a long time. I think the quality of their program, if they were playing, Providence, if they're playing at Duke or wherever they're playing, like that coach is on the other team knows that you're playing against a really good team. So I think beating Yale, a very quality team, in a fashion that we had to do it, I think it's emotional. But our team needs evidence of what the right things to do, how to do the things the right way together to get the result that we want. So that is what it is. We'll deal with Providence next Saturday night. Right now, we're going to deal with this, feedback, get better, and then we'll deal with Providence. We know going in there what that's going to be about, and clearly we're going to have to be much better at the gates, out of the gates on the road, and we go do that. But it's not about Providence. It's about our game today, winning that game, giving our guys some credit here, and let's figure out how we can get a little bit better and keep building, because I think today's the type of game we're going to have to win at home the rest of the way. They're all going to feel like this.
And you talked about starting better out of the gate. Obviously a slower start today, a little bit of a slow start against Johnson and Wales, the one you alluded to against Northwestern. What are some factors going forward that you believe can help your defense in particular show up from the jump?
Change the lineup. You know what I mean? Like the bottom line is guys want to play. Guys want to play a lot. The guys who are going to play here are going to play hard and they're going to play the right way. And those are going to be the guys that we're going with. And if we can't get productivity out of some guys in those areas, they're not going to play because we have too many guys. We have too many guys. We're not one of those teams like we were a year ago where we only have about 5 guys to put in the game and the 6 guys. We're not like that. We have a lot of guys that want to play. So if you play hard, you will. And I think as we move into Providence over the next week, who does the best job leading into that game that we feel gives us the best chance, that's ready to compete and has some toughness.
You saw a certain level of competition last weekend, obviously. Could this team have won this game prior to last weekend?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that, part of getting better is we needed to get our butt whipped a little bit last weekend, and we need to understand that our greatest weakness right now is ourselves. The pity party, the body language, the woe's me if it's going well for me today. Why'd I come out, coach? We have a lot of that going on. I mean, we're not perfect. But today was a great example of what can happen when you don't have it. So we need to figure out how to bottle that up and keep it going in the right direction and keep making progress.
The players said they had a meeting on their own. When they're willing to take ownership like that as a group, as a coach, it's good value.
Yeah, I think coming off of Johnson and Wells, it didn't feel right. And every team gets stuck in the mud a little bit. And we had great work the last 2 days. We really did. We had great enthusiasm. We had great effort. I thought House really, really responded after a couple tough games. And I don't even know what his line is in this game, but I know he played extremely hard and he played a lot harder. But that's what we're going to have to be about. We're going to have to be about that by committee in terms of our effort and tough. If we ever get to the level with this group where there's great buy-in on defense, effort, toughness, we're not beating ourselves doing stuff, dumb stuff in transition defense. If we can become a tough-minded group on defense, we can be hard to deal with. But we can also be down by 20, 19, 18 when it's not in check. So, there's a fine line.
Coach, you talked about getting more rotational in. Cam came in today, shot 3 for 4. What did you see out of him?
Cam did a really good job. He had a couple practices coming off of Thanksgiving with the wrist. Thought he got back in the groove here pretty good. Cam has great confidence in his game. And I think that's the one thing that's the beauty about him is you're not real worried about him, going out there and not, having confidence. So throwing him in there and giving him opportunities is good. Big shot. Really big shot at the top. He made some good plays, and we had to continue to find more ways to get him in there, which is fine. He'll get it. But in that second half, we got going a little bit, and I thought we were going to ride with the guys that sort of got us a little momentum. We were able to use our bench. I thought our staff did a really good job throughout the game to try to keep guys fresh, especially our bigger guys. But playing big and small, it's kind of tough on us right now in terms of whatever lineup it is, but small seems to be working for us a little better right now. I think part of that may be Brandon is playing pretty well, but Cam's bright spot as well tonight. He did a really good job.
Coach, this was the first game where it was tight and tough down the stretch. It was a battle, the last 5 minutes. It's the first time we've seen the team in that situation. What do you take it from that, what they did tonight?
Well, I think, learning how to win is important. Learning how to win, you have to go through it. And I think just being able to make good decisions, continue to score, don't turn the ball over, get stops, all those things will be pointed out here as we go into evidence. But until you go through this a few times, you learn how to win a couple games, like this, being down 19, you need that evidence that you're never out of it, etc. But I thought we handled ourselves pretty good. Being able to get Jaden's 2 free throws, basically put us up 4. The last possession in front of their bench, Josephat's effort level on the shot challenge was incredible, but I'm not real sure why he was so open. But there's a lot of great things we're going to have to be able to point out, and I think learning how to win is an important thing. Guys have to go through it. They have to believe that they're going to win. And part of us doing it today, hopefully will help us down the stretch as we keep going here, that we can find ways to win the game.
You talked about the team needing to be tougher, but I thought they showed some grit down the stretch.
Really did. Second half, a lot of physical play. We offensive rebounded, the defensive rebounded, we guarded better. We showed some toughness on offense. We really did. I think offensively we showed some toughness on the scrapping on the glass, the drives, the finishes. It wasn't a soft team in that second half. That first half, that was a soft team. And that's sort of been who we've been. And I think in this game here today, especially in that second half, that's what you're looking for. And I honestly, building was alive. And I think they came alive because our guys were alive. And I think, part of developing a great ability level at home, to win consistently at home, is to get that crowd going. And we did have a fantastic group here post-holiday, tough. But we had a good crowd in there today. And I tell you what, they came alive in that second half with our guys. And part of it is they don't want to see that stuff in the first half, So we have to continue to kind of keep going, keep building so we can grow sort of what we're going in here. Sound good? All right.
All set.
Thank you.